What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another review. And another week gone by and we get What If episode 2. What if T'Challa was Star-Lord? And this is what I wanted from this series. This is exactly what I wanted. Not a retread of what happened, but just for the few differences. Something like what the episode 1 did. It was basically Captain America, the first movie, just with a different character and a few differences here and there. This is actually what if the events completely change and you actually see not just the same kind of story with different pieces here and there, but an actual different story that went along. And again, before we go into this, spoilers. So, instead of Peter Quill being Star-Lord, you see T'Challa. He basically is playing around. He kind of goes further than the land. It's kind of it reminded me of a callback to Lion King. Remember, it's like, oh, don't go there, but Simba ends up going there. They kind of went there. He's actually having a talk with his dad, and he's basically looking to the stars, and he wonders what outside where they are, because as you know, if you've seen Black Panther, they have this shield. They really don't go outside that, or at least the children don't. Only the authorities or whoever needs to. So he's kind of wondering what happens, and this one day he kind of somehow goes outside the shield because he's playing with some technology, a spear per se, and Yondu is basically looking, his group is looking for a kid, and it is Peter Quill, because they go back to it, but instead they end up picking up the wrong kid. And they're farther in space, and because T'Challa being a kid, he's like, oh, well, this is cool, and they end up being a family. So it's a funny start, and it's like the idiots just pick up the wrong kid, and they're further down, and T'Challa's interested, and he actually wants to explore. He's not really like worried that he got kidnapped or so, and they end up keeping him, and it's basically a family. From there on, there are some surprises that I did not expect. You don't have Groot, you don't have Rocket Raccoon, Drax, but the team that they have, I did not expect. So, obviously, Yondu is still there, and instead of like this kind of 50-50 guy, bad and good, he's actually not that. He is an actual good guy. This group is more like a Robin Hood group where they take from, who don't deserve it and give it to poor. And it's basically that kind of a group. And everybody actually respects each other. And Nebula is part of this group. And Thanos is part of this group. I was laughing with his dialogue. And it's some of the best dialogue. And you can't expect him to be, and basically what happened, because of the honorable kid T'Challa was, he actually ended up, putting sense into Thanos that whatever he's doing is actually not right, and he should give it up. And the story goes that he gives it up, and now he's part of this team, and Nebula is also part of this team. And towards the end, there is this dad moment with the dialogue, because spoilers again, and at the end, basically what ends up happening, that T'Challa learns that, because of his kid, he kind of forgot what usually, like, literally happened, and there was no way back, and his family has been, like, passed on, and they passed away, and nothing's left. He actually ends up finding out that Wakanda and the technology actually has grown so much that they actually sent out ships to actually find T'Challa in space. So he learns that, and basically the group decides that they're actually going to go back to Wakanda, and they introduce themselves, and he basically becomes the prince that we knew, but it's, different under different circumstances. So it's an amazing ride from start to the end. Instead of Thanos, you actually have the Collector now ruling, like, not the galaxy, in a way the galaxy. He's basically doing what he does. He's collecting everything, people, things, and the duck the duck makes a special appearance. The dog again makes a special appearance from the movies. And man, this episode from start to the end was just so much fun. And I could not fathom Thanos, the character he is, and what they end up making him. But he still has that power in him, but he's more like mellow. Like he's still the Mad Titan, and they actually go with that. There's a moment where he's about to go into a fight, and he literally uses the word mad within a sentence, and it's like, come on, Marvel. This is too good. This episode, just from start to the end, laid out the events in a way that were just awesome. And it was awesome to see that instead of Star-Lord, that, he's a kind of a guy, like he's not always saying the truth or not always lying. And that's why the group that he was around was that kind of a group, right? And it's amazing to see that how T'Challa's personality actually came onto the group, and it actually changed them. And you can see that how they're honest and how they have each other's back. And it was just so much fun from start to the end, the story that they were telling. And eventually they end up being at the same point where they are, but with a totally different group. And that ending, when they're all discussing their own adventures with the Wakandans, and again the dad moment with Thanos and Nebula, I laughed so hard at that moment. I don't know, some reason that dialogue, and it's Thanos, the character Thanos saying it. It was just so much fun. All in all, I give this one a 10 out of 10. It's funny because the last one I gave like what, 5 or 6, and then now we're at 10. This episode was so good. I mean, this was spectacular. The animation, everything about it, the characters, and the way they kind of changed the story and actually just told a different story was what this theory needs. It needs stories that are not just a retread of what we've seen before, an actual different story. And I'm here for it now. Can't wait for episode 3. So, what did you all think about this? Leave a comment below. Let me know. And other than that, I want to say thank you for watching. Thanks for all the support. If you like this review or these kind of reviews, there are a whole lot others on the channel. Please go have a watch. And yeah, take it easy. Take care, and I will catch you all soon. Until then, ta-ta. Ek out.